Hey everybody, it's Alloy. This is going to be a different kind of tutorial, and I want to talk about something kind of complex, but that can be broken down in really simple terms. Really simple terms. But let's talk about what I mean by complex. So I have opened this paper. It's an academic paper. It's called Day and Night. It was written in 2008, as it says right here on the paper, and it's titled Return Differences Between Trading and Non-Trading Hours Like Night and Day. So let's go into a little bit about what this means, and I think that already the legacy is sort of implied by just how old this is and the fact that I'm talking about it. It's 12 years old, and it's still important today. So, like night and day. I want you to remember that. There's a reason why that's the subtitle of the paper, right? The reason why I'm making this video is because someone in the light chat just brought up indexes. And there's something very fascinating about indexes with relation to how they move, when they move, and some just interesting tidbits. So, before scrolling into this paper too much, I will read the first paragraph, right, for everybody. So the abstract is, we use transaction level data and decompose the U.S. equity premium into day, in other words, open to close, and night, close to open returns. We document the striking result that the U.S. equity premium over the last decade is solely due to overnight returns. I'm going to read that part again before continuing. We document the striking result that the U.S. equity premium over the last decade is solely due to overnight returns. The returns during the night are strongly positive, and returns during the day are close to zero and sometimes negative. This day and night effect holds for individual stocks, equity indexes, and futures contracts on equity indexes, and is robust across the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ exchanges. Night returns are consistently higher than day returns across days of the week, days of the month, and months of the year. The effect is driven in part by high opening prices, which are subsequently declining in the first hour of trading. Now that I've read that, I just want to take a moment to correct some stuff that's changed, I think, over the past 12 years. So one thing it mentions is that this holds true for individual stocks. So this is no longer the case. This is mathematically false. Is if you look at individual stocks, you'll see that their daily gains. I mean, anyone holding Palantir knows that this is false. This part, individual stocks now, Facebook even, you can take blue chip stocks and compare them to the indexes. And during the day, nowadays, individual stocks gain tremendously during the day. So that's the only part of this. I'm going to highlight that so you can know which part I want you to ignore. This day and night effect holds true for individual stocks. That part is not true. Everything else, though, is still true in 2020 and probably still in 2021. So without elaborating too much about what I mean, let's just break this down into simple terms for those of us who are hearing or seeing this video and still don't know exactly what it's getting at. So the lesson here is to really, in most simplified terms, if we just take the S&P 500 as an example, as an index, the ticker's the SPY, right? That's the ETF. So if you bought SPY at every day at 9:31, essentially right when it opens, just about, right? And then you sold it at 3:59, just before it closes, you would lose money. Over 10 years, you would lose money. I'm going to tell you just how much you would lose and just how much you'd gain if you had done the opposite. What is the opposite? The opposite is buying SPY just before close and selling just after open, right? That's the day and night cycle. That's the moon versus the sun. That's the lunar versus the solar. That's the point of this paper. So why am I making this video? Why am I telling you about this? Well, why does this paper exist? You can read it. I'm not going to fluster you. Look at all this. I could literally, you can read it. It's, a lot of it is in plain English. It's just not necessary that you read it. So I'm gonna spill the beans. I'm gonna spoil it for you. Here we go. The results of this study were, and they were extrapolated actually, is since this study, other studies have been made. So 20 years of extrapolated results, or 10 years of extrapolated results after the 10 that this provided. 20 years, right? If you had bought the S&P index every day at morning and then sold at close, you would have made a negative 6% return over 20 years. That's what you would have made. You would have lost money. Now, this is crazy. Here's the part that's gonna blow your mind, and it's literally a cheat code. This is stuff that no one wants to tell you about, and the stuff that takes patience, but it's very, very real. Okay? If you had bought every day just before close and sold just after open, you would have made 656% returns in 20 years. 656% returns in 20 years. Buying just before close and selling just after open. Now, I'll admit, the strategies that I take are more aggressive than this. This is pretty conservative, right? This is to say that all you have to do is gamble on an index and make a tremendous amount of money in only 2 decades. I know it sounds like a long time, but you must understand that if you keep putting money in, you keep doing this, you will certainly live a life that you didn't think was possible by the time you're an adult. By the time you're ready to quit your job and you're tired of working, you'll have that option. You'll be able to. So, it's very powerful, very conservative. If people are in sort of a beginner state with their career as an investor, this is a great approach to take. Experiment. And you know what? I'm just going to put it out there too for people who are watching to this point in the video. Sometimes this is not going to work. You're going to buy just before it closes and you're going to sell just after it opens, and it's not going to result in gains. Okay? It's up to you if that means you want to hold. The good news is the SPY and the stock market in general tends to go up. So if you find out that it's down the next day, don't cry about it. Just hold on a little bit longer, probably till the next day or the day after that, and it'll be up again. That's how the game works, right? So this is a non-losing situation. And I hope that people appreciate it and that it makes sense. As usual, guys, and it feels like a long weekend's ahead. We got 4 days because it's Thanksgiving and stuff. So enjoy it while it lasts. I hope you saw the announcement. Spend time with family. Yeah, tell them how you feel, and I'll talk to you guys soon.